In this video series, I'm going to go in depth on what the carnivore diet is. I'm going to cover vitamins and minerals that are in certain products, not super in depth and all that stuff, how they could benefit you, and what different variations to it are, and what I think my safe recommendations are. The first one that I'm going to start with is what is a carnivorous diet? A carnivorous diet is just simply eating animal products in a nutshell. Now, you're going to find people out there that talk about eating just meat and water, and they think this is the God's gift to mankind, just meat and water, and that's where everything comes from. You don't need anything else other than just meat and water. And I've heard people make these recommendations. I've heard preachers make these recommendations. I've heard doctors make these recommendations. I've heard just random people on these Facebook groups and stuff make these recommendations. Just meat and water gets very few people by. Just meat and water can leave you deficient in minerals, your electrolytes, things of that nature. So whenever I do it, I don't do just meat and water. Some people can get by doing that because they eat pounds and pounds and pounds of meat per day. So they're getting enough sodium and potassium through the food that they're eating. But what about those people that don't consume more than a pound, pound and a half, 2 pounds of meat per day because that's really all they can handle? Or they're really small body type, or that just doesn't fit what their macro range would be. And those people are getting, 1,000 milligrams, 1,200 milligrams of potassium, and that's not enough for them. They're getting arrhythmia and stuff like that, hearts beating out of their chest. It almost feels like they should go to the hospital. They get a lot of pressure build up in their chest and in their head, behind their eyes and stuff like that. Where does all that come from? That comes from people that simply just eat meat and drink water, but don't add sodium and potassium to their diet, and it leaves everything out of balance. Second thing is actually doing meat, water, potassium, and salt. A lot of people get by and they're very healthy doing that. They don't add a lot of organ meats, or don't add organ meats in as well. Dr. Sean Baker, he's a proponent for that. He's the ribeye doctor, pretty much. I mean, in a nutshell, I'm not going to act like I know everything about Dr. Sean Baker, but I know he's bragged many times that he just eats ribeyes. He eats steaks. That's what he does. He salts his food liberally and stuff like that. In the first year of him doing carnivore, he had coffee and stuff like that, but he cut it out eventually, and he didn't even have coffee anymore. His energy levels all regulated and actually got better. And then there's the campaign that has meat, water, salt, organs, and they live by that balanced lifestyle: brain, kidney, liver, red meats, chicken, fish, all these things like that. And they add in all animal products that are from a non-processed source, other than just the process of packaging at a meat, like a butcher or something like that. And then you have the other campaign that add in every animal product, including highly processed animal products like cream cheeses, sour creams, cottage cheeses, things of this nature. Even though they add eggs in, even though eggs are not a processed product, they actually have a very well balanced macro to them. They're probably one of the only things that you can eat that has like the most perfect balanced macro that's not a processed product. Eggs aren't even processed to the extent that meat's processed, so I bet you eggs could be considered like a top superfood when it came down to it. So learning the dairy, milks, cottage cheeses, cream cheeses, things of that nature can hamper your weight loss in the process of doing this. And there's different levels of doing this. There's even people out there with plans that start you out in the simplest form of carnivore, and then they run you into a 4 to 6 week or a 6 to 8 week program where they eventually get you into just meat, salt, and water. You just have to do whatever fits your lifestyle. And remember, fitting the diet to you, not you fitting the diet, is what's key. And in a nutshell, regardless if these are lifestyle changes or not, they still are diets. Everything in the world has a type of diet. It's a pattern of eating that it follows. That's what it is. So in this video, I'll go into each individual separate, or in this series, I'll go into each individual separate category and show you exactly what these people would typically consume. And I'll give my thoughts at the end of the video on whether or not I think that it's healthy for most people. Stay tuned.